chapter we are going to discuss about internal component of the routers. So in this chapter, this internal component will be like like for a PC, if you take an example, you have internal component like motherboard, then you have RAM, ROM, and hard disk. The same thing, routers also has some internal component here. So let us try and understand how exactly this internal component are categorized. So the very first thing is ROM. ROM is about your read-only memory. As we know that, right? This is basically similar to BIOS in PCs in simple term. And ROM basically contains the bootstrap program and Roman mode. It contains the bootstrap program and Roman mode. What exactly this bootstrap program and Roman mode? Make sure bootstrap program is to search and load the operating system, and the Roman mode is for advanced troubleshooting. Fine. So ROM is basically just similar to BIOS in your PCs, which contains the bootstrap program and Roman mode. Bootstrap program is to search and load the operating system, and the Roman mode is basically useful for advanced troubleshooting. It's a kind of CLI where we can perform the advanced troubleshooting itself. Next we have flash memory. See, flash memory is a kind of a special memory in the Cisco routers where the Cisco operating systems are going to be stored, and the Cisco operating systems are known as IOS, Inter-Network Operating System. Inter-Network Operating System. For example, as when you go for PCs, you have the Windows operating system, Linux operating system. For Android, you have Android operating system. The same thing for Cisco devices, you have the Cisco operating system, which is known as IOS, Inter-Network Operating System. And this IOS, Inter-Network Operating System, will be stored in the flash memory of your routers. Fine, it's a permanent memory. Now, next we have the NVRAM. See, NVRAM stands for non-volatile random access memory. Non-volatile in the sense it is just similar to hard disk in the PCs, and it is nothing but a permanent memory. Fine. It is a permanent memory, just like hard disk in your PCs, where in the routers it is going to store your startup configuration itself. So make sure routers has the NVRAM, which is a permanent memory just similar to hard disk, in which all of your startup configurations will be stored here. Last but not the least, you have something known as RAM. RAM is your random access memory, and everybody knows that it contains the dynamic or current or running information itself. It's like random access memory contains the current configuration, or you can say running configuration itself, and this is nothing but one of the temporary storage or temporary memory. It's very important to understand that RAM is one of the temporary storage, just like your PCs. Simple. So apart from this, you do need to understand now this component how it's look like. See, we are not going to see any kind of a repairing for these boards and all. It is just one of the snapshot I have took and put up here. So doesn't make sense here because we are not hardware engineers. Just leave it. The most important point from this particular topic is to understand the boot sequence. So just like PCs or the mobile devices, this routers also has the boot sequence. For example, the moment you switch on the light or maybe the switch on power switch, your routers will go for post first. Post in the sense it will perform the power on self test. It is all about checking the hardware, whether all the hardwares are working, operating well or not. If yes, then it will go for second step, which is ROM. So what it will be now? From the ROM, it will load the bootstrap program, which will search for the operating system itself. So make sure boot sequence, the moment you switch on the router, first post will take place, checking for hardware. If it is passed, then it will load the bootstrap to search the operating system, and it will now load the operating system from the flash memory itself. Now once your operating system is loaded from the flash memory. Next process will be to upload your startup configuration. It's all about if you have saved any configuration, that is known as startup configurations. Those configurations, those old configurations will be loaded from the NV RAM itself. And once your operating system is loaded and startup configuration is loaded, each and everything will be put up into the RAM, and it will now come to the working condition itself. So when it comes to RAM is nothing but boot process is completed as everything is loaded into the RAM. So the boot sequence of your router, checking of your hardware first. If it is good, go ahead and initiate the boot step to source the operating system, load the operating system, load the startup configuration, and load everything into the RAM itself to go ahead and view the informations. This is your boot sequence of the routers. One more point, there is something known as config register value. Guys, by default for each and every routers, this configuration register value will be as 0x2102. 0x2102. This is the constant value, has to be there in the routers. But in some cases we can go ahead and change this configuration register value as well. The case could be, there might be I want to reset the password of my router. There might be I want to skip the some of the configuration from NVRAM. So in that case you may need to change this configuration register value itself. One of the use case I will show you at the last of this particular training is how to reset the password of the particular Cisco routers by changing this configuration registration value. Okay, so make sure by default registration value will be 0x2102. It can be changed based on our requirement here. So that's it for this lecture. We will see you in next lecture. Thank you.